All right.
So Eddie, how are the allegations treating you? Oh
It's
wait, we're
good
not talking about your allegations yet. Sorry.
because
Let's continue on with the podcast.
they're all false allegations, Fernie. They're all false.
Oh yeah.
Show me the evidence.
If they can't remember what happened, am I right?
I mean, God damn it, Fernie, we're getting dark. All right. So this is 11
Well, Eddie,
count.
uh, on this day I see clearly.
Oh, dude. So fuck, man. Like, do we should we start with the releases, Jade Cargill or Edge? Where do you want to start?
Let's do the releases.
The releases. All right. So after TKO officially was announced, and we had WWE and UFC merge into the super company. We had a fuck ton of
Uh,
releases. We had several wrestlers released from WWE, people that honestly kind of surprised, but some people that kind of made sense.
I
I
guess
think
the biggest surprise is Dolph Ziggler, fan
no,
favorite.
but definitely a fan favorite, but they were not using him anywhere near enough. I think the last time he did something big was when he held the NXT championship for a couple months and then lost it to Braun Breaker.
Hmm.
They wanted to move him into more of a producer role, but he rejected that. He was like, "Fuck off, I'm not doing that." So he was still a performer. But his brother's been
Yeah.
teasing that he'll come to AEW,
Duh.
which I mean,
That's the easy route.
well, the thing is he has a secondary career as a comedian.
Oh, really? Hmm.
Yeah. So I don't. Apparently, in 2016, because of how they were booking him, he was debating on just going full time as a comedian.
Hmm.
I don't know. But
Interesting.
yeah, I don't know. Do you think he'd do good though in AEW? Because they just had an influx of Edge. Like I don't know how they
I
would
just
do.
think it's become too cliche. It's like the Attitude Era. Like when like one guy leaves WWF, you're like, how long is it gonna take for him to show up on WCW?
And vice versa, man. Fucking Austin went from WCW to WWF and like no, he went to ECW and then to
Yeah, but Austin
WWF.
wasn't a big deal in WCW.
Yeah, but okay, fine. Like Jericho going from WCW to WWF. Who else pulled that shit? I
Yeah.
think Lex Luger. No, Brian Pillman did that. Do you know that story?
X Pac,
X Pac did. How quickly did it happen?
X Pac. Remember he left for WCW, and then Hulk Hogan buried him, and they released him, and he went to WWF, and he cut a promo on the NWO. He said if Kevin Nash and Scott Hall weren't prisoners, they would be right here with me.
Shit, I did not know that. I didn't know that story.
Yeah.
I know that
You
that
haven't
looks
seen
like
that
some fucking
promo?
delicious cattle corn.
It's it's the WrestleMania after it's the Raw after WrestleMania 14
Huh. Okay. I did not know that. I
when
never
Triple
really
H
cared
took
for X
over
Pac.
DX.
Oh, after
He's
Michaels
like
went down.
sometimes you need to have friends, a click, and then here comes Sean Waltman, and then yeah, he Triple H is like come talk to him, kid. And he's
What was he
like,
known?
Eric
So
Bischoff, you suck.
so Sean Waltman was he? Who was he in WCW? Was he X Pac in WCW or what was he?
He was six pack.
That's dumb. Kind of a dumbass name. X
S
Pac's way better.
Y X X Pac.
Well, I guess, man. I fucking guess. But so Ziggler, and then there's other guys on here that don't surprise me. Well, Mustafa Ali might be the next biggest surprise. Apparently, bear in mind, fair enough, this dude was like, fuck this place, I don't want to be here anymore.
It wasn't really
Um
being used. That's why I would assume.
no, he was actually being used a lot in NXT.
Oh,
Apparently, and this is one of the things I wanted to bring up, they were gonna
you didn't
he
like
was
it?
gonna win the NXT North American Championship off of Dom at No Mercy.
Huh?
That was the plan,
Oh,
apparently.
And then what changed?
They released him.
He probably didn't want it. He probably didn't want it.
Well, apparently he was enjoying himself. So NXT was giving him a second chance. A couple years back, he had pitched a character where he was going to be Mustafa Ali is Mustafa Ali was going to be a white bread
Mhm.
like American babyface of like I'm going to go on a campaign to win the North American Championship, like that kind of character. And the brass were like,
Uh-huh.
"Ugh, that's not going to do well. That's controversial."
Mhm.
So apparently, maybe Shawn Michaels was going to let him do that in NXT, and they just fucking cut ties. Sean found out right before Mustafa Ali did. Like they did not like consolidate with anyone at all.
You know, I always wondered if wrestlers getting moved back to NXT, if that's considered like a demotion, like Baron Corbin and all that.
From what I know backstage, some yes, some no. Some of it look at it as a demotion. Some of them look at it like, oh, dude, I get to go back and have fun.
Mm.
Like Finn Balor, he loved it when he went back to NXT. There was no hard feelings. He was like, dude, yes, thank you.
I think
Where some,
it looked like Becky was having a good time, but I'm pretty sure they're also using them like to get over the young talent.
yeah, well, that's what Ziggler did for Braun Breaker. They were like, hey, Ziggler can bump for a big guy. He did it with Goldberg. Let him do it for Breaker. He made him look like a world beater.
Mm.
Um,
I like the new Braun Breaker.
I like him too. Did you see the angle where he caved in Von Wagner's head?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, apparently reports are that he got too close with the steps accidentally and actually
Mm.
like cut him open like legit.
Shit.
Like, oh, fuck. Because if you watch the video from the fan, Breaker, Wagner like ducked his head in between the steps, but apparently it like waned. So instead of hitting it like this, where it doesn't make contact, it went like this and made contact.
Oh shit.
Mm. But Elias, not surprised.
Elias,
Uh
fuck that guy. I never liked him. I thought his whole shtick sucked. I thought he was a mid wrestler at best.
yeah, but you need mid wrestlers. Like we all knew fucking Scotty
Let me
Johati.
rephrase. When I say mid, I don't mean good mid. I think he sucked.
Fair, I guess. I never cared for his wrestling. I never cared for his, but like I understand some people did like him.
Like, don't get me
Um,
wrong. Like, you need mid carders. Like X-Pac was a good mid card wrestler.
mhm.
A Train was a good mid card wrestler. Val
Protest.
Venus was a good mid card wrestler. The Hurricane was a good mid card wrestler. Elias, I thought, uh, like every time he was on screen, I was like, man, this guy is just treading water.
Mm. But speaking of mid card, perennial mid card wrestlers, you want to talk about Shelton Benjamin?
He got released.
Yep.
I mean, I'm not surprised. Shelton Benjamin, I feel like he has always been the guy that has so much potential, but no one has ever pulled the trigger on him.
So you're not the only one. They were actually eyeing him for Money in the Bank. I think at WrestleMania 24 or 23.
Fuck, man. And his old theme was the shit.
Ain't
Ain't
no
no
stopping me.
stopping me. Oh, like that shit was banging.
But and they were considering him for the World Heavyweight Championship. The problem was they felt like he couldn't cut a promo. He could cut a great match, but not a good promo. But just give him a mouthpiece. Imagine if he had
Yeah.
been a Paul Heyman guy in 2007.
I mean, that's what they did for Lashley. They gave him MVP.
Yeah, and it fucking works. You don't have to have a mouthpiece all the time, but just like you don't have to cut a great promo. Give him a mouthpiece. That's what fucking managers are for.
No, and then like I mean the dude can fucking work. His spot with Shawn Michaels is probably the greatest super kick sweet chin music ever.
And it's crazy, and I mean this as a compliment to Sheldon, not like I'm not shit talking Rey Mysterio. They tried to do the same spot with Ray, and it just did not look as good.
No. Like Shelton pulled that off. I remember that was on the Raw opening
Yeah,
for I want to say it was for the opening with um the Papa Roach song To Be Loved.
yeah.
I don't think it was with Union Underground opening. I think it was with Papa Roach's opening.
Well, that's
And
because
that
Sheldon was still there.
yeah, and that spot is just like you watch it, it looks gorgeous.
Go to YouTube, folks. If you're watching this, go to YouTube and just Google best Sweet Chin music ever. it should be that one. I don't see another one that could top it.
And that's such a good rub from Shawn Michaels that it is amazing that he never got that push back then. I thought when he fucking turned his hair blonde, that's where shit was going south.
I didn't hate it when he was the gold standard. I thought, you know what, I can get with this. And then he'll stop dyeing his hair like when he gets serious for the world title. Like I'm not just the gold standard. I want the gold belt.
I felt like he should have had a feud with Angle.
You're not the only one, but Angle was gone. Remember 2006?
Yeah, but when they were doing the Team Angle shtick,
Oh, with Charlie Haas and all that.
yeah.
I don't
Granted,
disagree.
he was a young buck, and like they were really using Angle to elevate him and Charlie Haas.
Yeah,
But I mean, it's funny to look at his old videos from OVW where he was tag teaming with Brock Lesnar.
yeah.
Because I mean, it's
Uh,
just such an odd fucking pairing. But they
what,
wrestled with each other in college.
or the Minnesota Stretching Crew or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, and
Uh,
they wrestled with each other in college.
yeah, no, they're legit friends, like
Yeah.
legitimate friends, like in real life. Which I wonder what that's like for Sheldon.
I feel like Brock is just the guy that if you're on his good side, he will fucking be just a chill ass guy with you. And if you're not, well, he's just not gonna like you.
You're not
Because I
wrong.
mean, that's what all accounts say. I mean, everyone is like, if you're his friend, like you'll be his friend. But if you're not, he ain't gonna fucking like you.
To each their own. We got. Let's see. I'm gonna speed through these ones because I don't know if you give a fuck about it. Stop me if you want to care to talk about any of these
Mm,
guys. Top Dollar, Riddick Moss, Emma. That one surprised me because remember they brought her back. I thought
yeah,
they were gonna do more with her. Aaliyah, Rick Boogs, that poor son of a bitch.
yeah. Don't give a
Quincy
shit.
Elliott, Brian Montana, Dana Brooke. That one kind of surprised me. I felt like she would have been a good like feeder for the women's division. Mansoor, that one surprised me. Actually, Mansoor did because I think he was one of those guys that they only ever brought out when they had Crown Jewel. They were like, oh, this is the guy that we always bring out.
Mm,
Mace, not surprised. Shanky, not surprised. Dabakato, not surprised.
mm-mm,
Ulissa Leon, don't know. Daniel MacArthur, don't know. Kevin
mm.
Cortez, don't know. Alexis Gray, don't know. Brooklyn Barlow, Gyro, I can't pronounce that last name. Can't pronounce that name.
Sounds like a
And
bunch of
Matt,
guys that were in NXT.
yeah, but like the low level. Apparently in NXT, you get evaluated on a 6 month basis, and if they don't feel like you improved enough in those 6 months, you get cut.
Mm. And then what was the
Uh,
last one?
the probably the biggest one, Matt Riddle.
Dude, I never got the hype around Matt Riddle. Like, I
I
really never did.
I think it's because well, one, his tag team with Orton really got him over.
But
Two,
that's because of Orton.
no, it was their fun chemistry. Him, did you ever see him with any of the skits that he did with Butch or Pete Dunne when they were the Broserweights?
No.
Dude, they were fucking hilarious. Go back and watch some of them; they're funny. But I think the problem with Matt Riddle, he just burned through too many chances, man.
Yeah.
Like there was the assault case, there was drug possession. I think on 2 occasions he went to rehab. Then an issue at an airport.
Yeah, he said that they like touched him or they molested him or some shit. And
Like
then
he,
TMZ posted the video.
yeah, he said that they groped him.
And then TMZ posted the video and it was like, no.
And then that's on top of the fact that like he pissed off Goldberg and Lesnar.
Yeah.
He was like, "Oh, I'm gonna retire you," and Brock's like, "Bro, I don't know you like that. You can't. I'm not the dude to build a feud with you on Twitter."
And Brock will legitimately kill you.
Riddle's trained, isn't he?
Trained or not, you can't fuck with 300 pounds of pure anger.
I
And so
mean,
is Lesnar.
give me a gun, and I probably could.
Yeah, that's a gun. But
Mm.
Lesnar is 300 pounds of All American wrestler, and he will double leg him and send him to the ground.
I think okay. I'm not saying Lesnar couldn't do that. I'm just saying there's a chance
No, it's not that
Riddle
he
could get
couldn't.
lucky.
He could.
No, I'm
He
not saying he can't. He could. Like he could fuck you up. Like, why are you gonna pick fights with
That's
someone?
why the whole fucking shtick is never pick a fight with a wrestler
Hmm,
because they
maybe
will double leg you and take you to the ground
it's
hard.
famously Eddie Guerrero and Kurt Angle got into an argument,
Oh
and
yeah,
Eddie was like, "I can beat you in a wrestling match, like legit wrestling." Kurt was like,
he swung at him.
"Fine, let's go to the ring, let's see what happens." And apparently, the whole SmackDown locker room empty to watch this.
It wasn't in the ring. It was in the locker room. Eddie was all pissy, and he's like, "You try to hurt me," and Angle was like, "What?" And he swung at him. JBL talks about it. He swung at him, or no, he tried to double leg Angle. He tried to take him down, and Angle picked him up and fucking double legged him.
You're right, it was backstage. I thought they went to the ring to
No,
do this.
that's when Angle wrestled Lesnar.
Oh, that's the one where they went to the ring. They were like, "Fuck it, let's
Yeah,
go." And
but
who did
no, it
it?
wasn't. They went to the ring. Angle retold the story on Rogan. He's like, the boys were talking shit. They were getting us like against each other. They're like, they asked him like, "Hey, who would win a wrestling match, you or Angle?" And he's like, "Me." And so like, he had asked him like, "Hey, like we should go for real." And Lesnar had said something like, "No, dude, I'm not wearing shoes," and like they kind of just blew it off. And then he saw him in the ring with Big Show, and apparently he was double legging Big Show, picking him up and dropping him.
Damn.
And that's
Oh
when Big
shit.
Show was like 500 pounds. And he told Big Show to get out of the ring, and Lesnar didn't see him get out. And then Kurt comes up behind him. He's like, "Hey, it's time for us to go." And he says they went 15 minutes. He's like, the boys will say like that I kicked his ass, and he's like, I didn't. Like it was a good wrestling match, but I took him down twice. But
Mhm.
he's like, he's the real deal. He's like a legitimate wrestler.
Yeah. God, I don't remember the last time. I wonder what it must have been like being Brock Lesnar's training partner in college or high school.
There must have been a
Like,
lot of trust there.
or like I remember I think, was it Creed 1 where the guy is just like barely, no, it's Warrior, where the guy's just going through sparring partners. Like
Oh
he
yeah,
keeps
Mad
knocking them
Dog
out.
Grimes.
Yeah, and
Dude,
then he
where the
gets
fuck are
fucked
you
up.
finding these guys?
I
I don't
wonder if
know,
it was
dude.
like that
Stop
with
fucking giving them concussions.
I wonder if it was like that for Lesnar though. Like, hey, keep cycling through, man. 3 minutes each guy. Let's go.
I don't know. I've seen his UFC training videos, like when he was doing UFC, and I mean, he fucking trained hard.
Hmm, shit. Um,
But yeah, Riddle. Yeah, I just I never got the hype behind Riddle. I really never saw him going above a mid card belt.
I think he could, in the right circumstances, I think he could have won one of the world titles.
But
It's
see,
just
and the reason I
he kept
don't
getting
is
in his
because I
way.
feel like he held himself back.
Yes, I will agree with
He
you 100% there.
he
He fucked himself
I'm
over.
telling you, his whole demeanor, I don't think he ever wanted to be the top guy. I think he was
Mm-hmm.
perfectly fine being where he was at.
Mm-hmm. Do you think he goes to AEW? I know that's a cheap question, but do you think they even would want him?
I don't know, dude. I feel like AEW is so inflated with talent right now. Like they should just really be they should really look at who they're picking up. Like Edge is a good pickup because Edge still has a lot in the tank. Um, he's taking care of himself. Um, he has enough to, I think, give at least like maybe a solid 2 years,
Mm-hmm.
and then like he'll probably go off into the sunset again. But I just feel like they should really be stringent on who they pick up.
I think part of the problem with their roster, and I'm not props to Tony Khan for this one. They never release people unless they have a good reason. Even if they're not going to re-sign you, they'll keep you on and keep paying you until your contract expires. That's their mentality. It's like, look, we made a commitment. Unless you want us to release you early, and we'll waive your non-compete. Or you can stay on board. You're not going to wrestle, but we'll pay you till the contract's
Do you
up.
think CM Punk has a non compete?
I think so. because he was fired with cause, I don't know.
The
Because
only reason you are not you,
mm,
but the only reason you put out there he was fired with cause is because there's something in that contract that has to stipulate if
oh,
he's fired without cause, he can go and look for another gig.
oh, here, no, let me tell you about that real quick. I don't know if I mentioned it when we did the CM Punk video.
Uh,
So if he's fired with, so in WWE, I don't know about the AEW's arrangement. In
mhm.
WWE, if you're fired,
Oh yeah, you mentioned that. If you're fired with cause, you get
1 year
uh
non-compete without
yeah,
pay.
without pay.
Yeah,
I'm curious if it's the same deal with AEW that he has, because they had to have strapped on a non-compete if they're really going out of their way to say not with cause.
that's the big thing. Is with cause, dude, you're not doing anything for a fucking year, or you're not wrestling
Mhm.
for a fucking year, and we're not paying you.
And then heels got canceled.
Yeah, you know what? Fuck it. That's what Stephen Amell gets.
Yeah.
Oh no, you know what? There's a bunch of other people that just lost their jobs. I shouldn't be cheering.
Well, I mean, Stephen ML didn't help the situation.
Well, they could always bring it back. I mean, they say, "Oh, it's canceled," and they're like, "Ah, you know
It's
what?"
just, you know, I see why a lot of those shows get canceled because they're on those fucking ancient ass networks like Stars where
Yeah,
people aren't paying for fucking the Stars channel anymore.
yeah. Well, it's apparently they're shopping the show to other networks. It could be a Brooklyn Nine-Nine situation where they die on one network and get revived on another.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine died on what? Fox?
Yeah, and then they went to NBC.
Uh,
So
I
it could be
mean,
one. It
I
could be
wouldn't
one
be
of those.
surprised,
I
but
feel
yeah, I mean, it I those fucking channels like Stars and shit, I'm like I feel like that's where TV goes to die.
I feel like they need to die off and sell their best property to bigger companies. Like I think Heels would do good on either Peacock or Netflix. Peacock is obvious why.
Peacock, but yeah, because wrestling fans. They
Well,
already
apparently,
have Peacock.
right now one of the reasons why they're sending main roster talent to NXT is to boost ratings for talent for TV rights negotiations.
I wouldn't be surprised. I felt like Baron Corbin was an obvious one because like he wasn't doing anything in WWE in Raw or SmackDown where the fuck he was. And
Yeah.
he was just kind of he was kicking rocks.
You know,
I felt like Baron Corbin was on the death's door.
I'm surprised it wasn't released.
Yeah, I was like I feel like him he was pretty close to being released if he didn't get that small revival of going to NXT.
What's it called? Do you think I think if he goes back to his lone wolf gimmick, maybe he'd have a chance.
Yeah.
But anyway,
But yeah, back to the releases. None of them really shock me. WWE always does this. Every year they'll go and do a bunch of releases. But this year, I mean, it doesn't sound like there was a ton that were like, what? They released him?
no, yeah, I agree. I think Riddle was the only one that was like, "Oh shit!" But again, you're not surprised because he kind of did it to himself. He kind of did it
Yeah.
to himself.
And then
Um,
WWE's pickup of Jade Cargill. That one surprised me because I didn't know that she was leaving. Because I mean, she had just came back to AEW TV.
yeah. So
She was back for like what, a month?
yes. So when she lost the TBS championship, ending her undefeated streak, she had asked Tony Khan like, "Hey, do you mind if I take a vacation? Like, I'm tired. Like, do you mind if I take a few months off?"
It's
Khan
like
was like,
take a
"Yeah, sure."
vacation. You could get the fuck out of my office.
No, so do you know about the contract they offered her or no?
No.
So it was time for renegotiations on the contract because it had already been 2 years, and he offered her a certain amount. He didn't give numbers. He's like, "Hey, I'm gonna offer you this much." She came back and said, "No, I want this much." So he thought about it for a minute and I was like, "You know what? I'll pay you more." Like, let's give numbers. Let's say he offered her a mil. She came back at
You know
1.8
what?
mil.
Get the fuck out of my office.
he offered her more than what she initially asked, and she still said no. So he was like, oh, okay, I get what this is. All right, I wish you the best, which I think is an interesting thing because in WWE, if they know you're on the way out, they stop showing you. They do their best to like forget about you, blackball you almost. Like Edge
Don't
has been
really do that
removed
with
from,
Edge.
yeah.
With Edge, I mean, they kind of gave him his whole little farewell thing.
But I wonder if they knew that he was gonna leave or if they thought he was retiring.
I'm sure he told them. They have too big of a relationship for him not to be like, yeah, I think I'm gonna go try elsewhere.
Ah, okay.
Because I
Um,
mean, his home, like people say he's a traitor, all that shit. I'm like, get the fuck out of here, you Mark. Like it's just, I mean, he's done everything he could do in WWE. There's nothing left for him to do.
See, that I would say I don't think so. Like, here's the thing, and you have every right to tell me I'm wrong. This is just my
You're
mentality
wrong.
of it. Fuck you. I don't since Edge came back after WrestleMania 37, what did he do? He had an underwhelming feud with AJ Styles at 37? No, 38. 39, he has a Hell in a Cell match with Finn Balor. He had feuded with Judgment Day for a whole fucking year at this point, and he had a weird feud with The Miz. I think, with the exception of the Rollins and Orton feuds,
Mm.
I don't think, and I guess you could say Roman Reigns, I feel like they didn't use him to the best of their ability. He never feuded with, like, Kevin Owens, Drew McIntyre, Battle of the Spears with Lashley. Like, I feel like there was so
I
much more
just
they
don't
could have or should
think
have done with him.
I don't think that they would have meshed together. I think they just had other plans for these wrestlers, and it would have just been kicking the tires. Because I mean, he's been in WWE since 99, 98.
Yeah.
I mean, the dude can only do so much there, and AEW is something that is fresh and new, so might as well see what's up. And he has Christian there, probably talking him up, saying like, "No, dude, like come over here, try this out. You'll like it." Blah blah blah.
True. Well, also, and I don't know if he was on a part-time contract
I think
with
he had to
WWE.
have been. He couldn't have been in a full time contract. He has kids.
No, but that's what I'm saying though. Maybe that's part of the appeal of AEW, from what I understand. Like with Daniel Bryan,
Yeah.
he says one of the things he likes working Collision because that means he's home during the week when his kids get home from school.
Mm,
Like that is one of the big appeals. Is like you can be home up to 5 days a week, with your family, and you're still
yeah.
making good money. Maybe that's part of the appeal for Edge. Is like,
Maybe.
huh, okay. Um, that's one thing I think. You have a fresh pool of talent to wrestle against.
Yeah.
Do you think do you think who do you think is going to get more of the deal? And we can talk about Jade Cargill in a minute. Who do you think was the bigger pool? Cargill to WWE or Edge to AEW?
Like, what was the bigger page turner?
No, like the what's going to work out better for who in the long run? Because on one side, AEW
Jade.
get
I think Jade, because I mean her career's still up and coming. Edge has already solidified himself as a wrestler. Like there's really nothing that can bring him down. Like AEW picking him up is the probably the smartest thing they could do,
Mhm.
especially if he's on the market. But I would say Jade going to WWE because she's still young
I think she's only like what 30 maybe if she's that old.
and she has a fresh talent pool to fuck with.
That's true. She's
Like
31.
Like imagine her and Charlotte Flair or her and Becky. Um, but like I think like she has a better chance of reviving the women's division because I feel like the women's division's kind of been in limbo for a little bit.
Yeah, no, it feels like they haven't been taking it as seriously. I think that was also part of the problem in AEW. Unless you were Jade Cargill or held the women's world title, you weren't featured that much. Not enough, anyway.
I just hate the fucking the TBS championship and the TNT championship. I really do.
Why?
It has the fucking channel on it.
Well, what the fuck do you
I
expect?
get, I get that they were probably like told, hey, if you're gonna be on our channel, you need to make your mid card belt after us. Like I get it, but fuck, man, I would take the television championship over that.
Maybe they couldn't. Maybe they couldn't save it, or they couldn't trademark it.
It's so stupid.
But anyway, but one of the things that Jade has made very clear, apparently, to those is that she wants to transition from wrestling to acting already.
Mm.
That's why apparently she's going to WWE to build her brand even further. Um, and then from there transition into acting, which I mean, even if she only gives 3 years to WWE, is that worth more than 2 years from Edge to AEW?
Yeah, I would say so because she has a stronger ability of building her brand. AEW is a wider market.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, so Jade
Did I
Cargill
say
to
AEW is a wider market? I meant
yeah.
WWE.
I was gonna say like, oh wait, I don't know if you
Yeah, I'm
misspoke.
fucking out of it right now. Yeah, WWE is a bigger market. Like, I mean, WWE is all over the fucking world.
That's true. You can become a household name with them.
You know,
And look at what they did to Bianca Belair. Now imagine with someone who actively wants to break into other areas.
I know. Can't wait to go see it live on the floor.
Fuck
I'll
you.
wave.
I hate you.
Hi, Eddie.
Um, I fucking hate you. That said,
Can you
see,
believe it?
I fucking hate you. Do we even know what the card is going to be when they come down?
I don't know. I haven't seen anything confirmed about who's coming down.
I'll show card, Edinburgh, Texas, WWE. Let's see. Saturday night's main event in Edinburgh, Texas. We have Solo Sokoa, LA Knight, Charlotte Flair.
LA Knight, I'm fucking with.
Let's see here. Bobby Lashley, the Street Profits.
All
Oh,
right.
dude, here's the card. Well, here's the card. LA Knight versus Austin Theory in a street fight.
All right.
Charlotte Flair versus Asuka versus Io Sky. I fucks with Asuka. She's cool. Solo Sokoa, Bailey, Shotzi, Karen Cross and Scarlett, the LWO. Do you think Ray's gonna be here? I doubt it.
I think so. It's a Latino market.
Yeah, but you would think with his contract he doesn't have to do house shows. But then again, I could be wrong. Santos Escobar and
Uh-huh.
many more.
Hmm.
It's
I
not.
fuck with LA Knight. I just wish they would make better shirts for him.
They don't make good shirts for him?
They're just really bland. Like
What do you think
fuck
the
it. Like he has so much marketability. Like get a fucking designer on his shirt for God's sakes.
is it just me or do I feel like they're sending out like the B team for this show?
LA Knight's the B team.
I mean, he's the only like legit headliner. Like
Lashley.
they
Lashley was a
haven't been
former
doing
world
much with him.
champion.
But who's he gonna face?
Well, the Street Profits are there, so maybe a triple threat tag team.
Oh, you mean a 6-man tag?
Yeah.
I could see that, but you know what? Lashley and the Street Profits versus the LWO. I see that. You're right. I see that.
I like the Street Profits now that they teamed up with Lashley because I felt like they were starting to kick the tires.
Well, that's the thing. That's what you pull. You're face for a while in the middle of a long title run, then you turn heel.
Yeah.
But anyway, wait. So getting back, so Edge to AEW. Who do you think he's going to feud with, or who do you want to see him feud with?
Oh, I mean, they're already hinting at him against Christian because he came out and helped out Sting.
Yeah,
Um, MJF would be a good one.
the mic,
Them,
their
th-
promos.
them going at each other on the mic would be good. I loved how MJF called him Edge,
Yeah, he's like,
and
oh, sorry,
he
that's a
rolled his
no
eyes.
word.
Adam Copeland,
Yeah, the
but
Rated R superstar.
I like that Edge has his music.
Yeah,
But I mean, MJF would be a good one.
I
Christian
think
would be a good one.
I think Moxley actually would be a good one because think about it. Edge
Oh,
retired
Moxley's
two.
bleeding.
Hey, for imagine their hardcore matches. Because, dude, think about it. Moxley debuted in WWE 2 years after
Match hasn't
Edge.
even started yet, and Mox is bleeding.
Oh my God, he's chewing on glass. But Edge versus Omega, Edge versus Moxley, that's an easy one. I want to see Edge versus Orange Cassidy. I feel like that would be stupidly entertaining and awesome.
I think Orange Cassidy's on a hiatus right now. No, isn't he taking a break?
He did a tag team match at Wrestle Dream, but that's about it.
Wrestle Dream is a stupid title.
It was for Antonio Inoki, man. It was for a dead guy.
That's why he's dead.
Jesus Christ, for me. But yeah, so Jade Cargill, who do you want to see her face in WWE? You mentioned Charlotte.
Out the gate, I think her and Charlotte could be good.
What if that's her first feud? Like she just beats Charlotte for the women's world title. Like here's a rocket. Go.
That would be a lot of balls because they didn't even give Cody the belt on when he came in.
You never know, man.
That would be a lot of balls. Who's the champs right now? Rhea and who else?
Charlotte. Isn't Charlotte the champion?
No.
Let's see.
Isn't Shotzi the champion?
SmackDown.
No, not Shotzi.
Women's Championship. Women's World Title is currently held by not that one. That's Rhea Ripley.
Yeah.
WWE
champion for women. It was what's her face that won the Money in the Bank.
Io Sky. Oh, Io Sky is still champion? I'm shocked she hasn't already lost it to Charlotte Flair.
You mean Fleer?
Dude.
However you pronounce Ric Flair's actual name.
Flair. God. Oh, did you hear Charlotte's getting it's rumored, but she may be getting her third divorce.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. That like they stopped following each other on Instagram. There's like a lot of hinting that they're getting divorced.
Yeah, which I don't know if it's true or not, but I mean,
how many times has she been divorced?
This will be her third divorce. I think she's trying to beat her dad's record.
She's fucking challenging her dad for the divorce title or what?
That's what I just fucking said. I wonder. Let me see. How many times has her father been divorced?
4.
Ric Flair. Let's count it. Leslie, that's 1. Elizabeth, 2. Tiffany, 3. Jackie Beams, 4. Wendy, 5.
Oh man, she's got 2 more to go.
Well, technically, he's on his 5th wife, technically, but I mean, he could do it.
Oh, she's got 1 more to go then. She has to get married and divorced again.
1 more to tie, 2 more to take the title.
I'm coming for you, brother, for the divorce championship
of the world.
There's a skit that the guys from the Bonfire used to do, where they would make fun of Terry Funk and like his ridiculous matches. I'm gonna challenge you to loser has to pay the winner's alimony match.
God,
I'm gonna challenge you to a loser has to go to a Wendy's and order a Big Mac match.
That's so fucking dumb, though.
I'm gonna challenge you to a loser has to ignore their kids for 5 years and come back and say I love you match.
Come off, ready? You gotta have 1 more in you.
I'm trying to think of one. I'm gonna challenge you to a loser gets their sobriety for 6 years, builds relationships with their family, and then pisses it all away match.
Oh shit! Oh fuck! You topped it. Okay, you know what? You win. You fucking win. I shit, man. Okay. Oh God. All right, fucking. Before we go, Charlotte Flair is she's technically a 16-time world champion if you count the NXT and Divas titles.
Yeah, she is.
So she's
world champion.
So she's tied her dad, so she needs one more title
I mean, doesn't
to.
Ric Flair technically have like 20
He has
championships?
26 technically.
Yeah, like
If you count the Phantom reigns with the NWA, he's at 26 legally speaking. Let's
yeah.
see. Yeah, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. It's 20. Yeah. Well, shit. We'll see how this is gonna go. But yeah, so I guess that's gonna do it for this episode of WWE and AEW trading superstars. I guess technically, legally speaking.
Yeah.
Bernie, you wanna lead us out?
Sure. Thanks everybody for joining us for the 11 count podcast where we talk about wrestling and bullshit about other shit for the most part. Please join us every 2 weeks. We try to put out a podcast talking about wrestling and what's going on in wrestling. We still have yet to talk about the fucking Montreal screw job, but we'll get to it eventually. But yes, that is all for today's 11 count. Thank you for joining me and Eddie. Let's ring the bell.
And insert the fucking sound
Ding,
theme
ding,
here.
ding.